welcome back to American Truck Simulator. I'm David Steele, and here's me truck. Yes, we're in a K100E again today. Let's go ahead and just maneuver up this little forestry track. Is that Cascadia going? Mind where you're going, sunshine. Okay. Right. First things first, I am a little dry this evening. And I've got water, but I'm probably going to still get dry. So that little huskiness in my voice is just because I feel like I've not had enough to drink today. And second, today we're going to do some heavy haul, although I might want to call it extreme hauling. And the reason why is we are doing some of our own trailer work here today. Yes, that's a... I think it's a, what is it, a low load? I forget what the thing's called. And we're going to go and pick up a extremely heavy log stacker. So the normal log stacker is 119,000 pounds. Well, this one's twice that weight. This one's 238,000 pounds. It's a mod, and I'll put a description to put a link to the description in the. Oh my goodness me! I'll put a link in the description below. Wow, how hard is it to get that right? And that's going to take you to, I think, the Steam Workshop, where you can go ahead and download this this double weight mod. You can have a lot of fun with this. So you can have a double trailer, combine it with a double weight, and you can have extremely heavy cargo. I did one video with, I think, a 356,000 pound weight cargo, I should say, on doubles. So we're doing not quite that extreme today, so only 238,000 pounds of a cargo, but that's a lot of ice cream. It's a lot of cheesecakes that are going to be sat behind me. And so to help move all that, we've got a Cummins NTC under the front, well, under the body, basically. Now this is the NTC 444 XT. Bit of a mouthful, that one. It's rated at 444 horsepower, which is probably why it's called the 444 XT, but that's just idle speculation on my part, and I digress. This engine also produces 1400 foot-pounds of torque, and I think that's produced at 1500 revs. So it's a little buzzy, shall we say. Okay, I mean, that would seem legit, because it's an older school engine, and yeah, older school engines need a few revs. To help get that to the road, and we're using a 6x4 today, and I did want to use an 8x4, but for whatever reason I haven't configured this truck correctly. I think you have to buy it as an 8x4 in order for it to work. Well, I'm going to be overweight for the axles that I've got, but I'm just going to assume, I'm going to hand wave, but I'm going to assume that I've got all the permits that I need in order to be able to make this trip, and for whatever reason this truck is heavy duty enough to be able to cope with it. So we're running an Eaton 15 speed, it's an RTO 915 with a retarder, and the reason for the retarder is hey, if you've ever tried to stop 300,000 pounds with just an engine brake on a 14 litre engine, you really want a retarder. Now my default configuration for the game has an automatic retarder linked to the cruise control, so when I basically tap down my speed, it's going to keep me within 6 miles an hour of that. This retarder is powerful enough that it's going to lock the rear wheels, and that's... I've not crashed, but I will. But with all this weight behind it, I think it's going to make a useful difference. Forecast today, well, it didn't look bad, but look at that on the horizon. Look at that ahead of us. That would seem to imply rain is on the way. Well, we'll see. Well, a little close to the edge there. Oops. Right, I've got my windows down. Let's go ahead and pull up here. I think the log stacker is probably ahead of us. I don't think it's... Well, it might be to the right. I'm not sure. It's a noisy engine, shall we just say. Right, let's see if we can pick up this log stacker, and there we go. I've got some other cargoes here as well. Here's a normal length log stacker. It's only 119, and it's not even $30,000. This is $91,500. That's the biggest. There's another log stacker here. Yeah, I've got the heaviest cargo that available at here. It's a 356-mile trip today. It thinks it'll take us 6.5 hours. I think it'll take us a little longer. Because there's something else I forgot to mention about this gearbox. It's very short. I know. Not everything that's very short is bad. In fact, most things that are very short, like Sandy, are amazing. This gearbox is so short that it makes Sandy look like an Amazon warrior princess. And she always, obviously, will be that to me, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's a 583. That means at the Governor, we're doing about 55 miles an hour. I think it's maybe 56, but I'm not going to argue here. It's pretty much 55 miles an hour. And that means it's going to limit my top speed to, well, 55 miles an hour. Of course, if I can actually get up to that speed, it's something else completely different. There's a 15 speed, it's configured as a 10 speed, but with 5 deep reduction gears. So right now it's moving me off in 3rd gear. That, I think, points out just how short this gearing is. Now that may change with all this mass up behind me. So we're going to see how well this thing holds it. It's got plenty of torque, but it needs a few revs. So my hope is, and I haven't tried this, but my hope is that actually it'll do okay. But it's going to be using those lower gears. Okay, I don't see where the loader is, so I'm not entirely sure how we're going to get it on here, but this is where the foreman wants it, so okay. I'm using the gearbox in automated mode today, and I've got high power mode selected. So it means if I feather the throttle, it'll upshift early, but a bit more pressure on it, and it's going to hold the revs longer. We're going to need that today. We're going to need to chase those revs because we're going to have to chase that power to keep the thing rolling, I think. Okay. I've got my rearmost axle up on the trailer. I'm going to drop that once we get ourselves positioned. I might just do that one. I'll do that before we collect the cargo. And of course, it's not me backing up if it wasn't for the fact I'm snaking all over the road. Okay. I should really have been using my 4-ways, I suppose. Right. We're in the spot, so let's go ahead and shut the engine down. What time is it? It's 8:07. Oops, don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and get some cargo loaded. Well, that wasn't the most subtle way of doing it. An hour and 10 minutes later, and the heaviest log stacker I've come across is sitting behind me. That is one big piece of machinery. So I'm going to turn on my beacons. There you go. Lights on for safety, right? I got some on the front too. And in fact, let's put my headlights on as well. It already is dropped the third axle for the trailer for me, which is good because I needed that. I can't actually get angle on to see it, but I did see it was dropped. I think from the front we can see it. Yep, good enough for me. It wants me to leave to the right, which seems to make sense. So, putting it in gear and it's already saying first gear. And I am not convinced that first gear is going to be sensible, but hey, I'm going to let the automated transmission do its thing. Or automated, very much an automated manual, because it's a manual gearbox here. Right, well, mean, let's start it out, because it thinks it knows what it's doing, so I'm going to trust it. Right, straight away we appear to be spinning the wheels. Let's see, how's that going? How's it going so far? Oh well, all said and done, let's raise my ride height to help it a little bit. Okay, we've got stuck. Not a good start, so let's go ahead and lock the differential. Let's try this again. So it's going to put me in deep reduction 1, so let's feed in some power and see what happens. Nope, nothing. Okay, so not good, and I'm locking my wheels, trying to not crash going down the hill. Did it? Well, look at that. It wasn't, the third axle on the trailer wasn't lowered. Okay, I'm gonna probably want to give this a bit of a run up. Hard to believe, but I'm actually doing that under controlled power. I'm not letting it run away from me. Okay. Right. Let's give it a go. I think I want to turn on the display here so I can see what's going on. I'm going to basically nail it off the line and hope for the best. So it's in deep reduction 1. Let's go for it. There you go. That's me nailing it. Amazing, right? So deep reduction 1 straight to first, and down to deep reduction 5, or up to deep reduction 5, right? Okay. So keep it nailed, keep it nailed. It's now in the lowest gear it can find, and I think it's spinning its wheels, or spinning the clutch. Or maybe it's not. Maybe this really is the gear for me. Oh, look at that. It's doing 2300 revs. Okay, well, you know what? It's pulling it up the hill. Let's try and shift up. Nope, didn't like that. Did not like me shifting up in the slightest. Wow. I may have to do this all over again. Let's just try it again. Oh, that's really frustrating. Are you kidding me now? I'll do the same thing again. I guess I am. So the lesson there is don't lift off for nothing. It's not really very controllable down the hill. Can you see me locking up my wheels there and sliding all over the place? Okay. I don't think I've got much of a choice over different roads. I want to try and get a bit more speed. And that would seem to be sensible, right? I mean, there's no trucking problem that can't be solved by more speed. Or a hot glue gun. If you're into your trucking, or you are a truck driver, and you're shuddering at this thought, I'm not taking this entirely seriously, just so you know. Okay, let's give me a bit of a run up. Let's put it in neutral. Let's just make sure that my differential is. If I want to get rid of this display, where's my differential control? I don't actually see it, so I think that's in place. Well, let's just try it. I mean, I've got no other means of. There's another way to get up that way. I reckon it's less steep. I'll try it this way. Right, let's boot it off the line. Okay. So, keeping the power down. It might stay in this gear. No, it's going to shifting out to fourth. Really? Down to first. And I'm losing my ability to steer as I think my front wheels are off the ground. Okay. Well, so far so good. Remember, it is super short gearing, so it may not be wheel spinning at this kind of speed, although I think it is. Well, not that much, actually. Okay. Hey, if it's going to do it in first at the governor, it's going to do it in first at the governor. It's going to get me out of this pit. Whoa, it changed up. That's confidence for you. That's NTC Big Cam Power. Yay, look at me go. Like I know what I'm doing. Yeah, it's just an illusion, right? Let's switch to this view. It's just, you know, gloat in the baskingness of my climbing a hill. Okay, it's enough of that. I really don't want to crash. Now we have some switchbacks coming up. I don't think this is going to be the easiest way of leaving. Thanks for watching, not giving me any help. I don't think this is going to be the easiest way to leave. There's more switchbacks this way, but maybe the gradient's less. Maybe. So drop my ride height to normal. I'm going to swing quite a bit to the right. Yeah, we're going down a hill. Oh no, oh, that was really close. Thank goodness I wasn't watching just how close that was. Yes, so I'm doing 20 miles an hour and it's already in 8th gear. Oh, that was foolish to try and go that quickly down the hill. I'm struggling. Let's get my retarder turned on. And the engine brake. So with my locking differential, that might mean that it's going to lock the wheels up going down the hill, but I think we're going to be okay, because what could possibly go wrong here, right? I mean, it's coping. Let's remove my retarder. Yeah, picks up speed pretty aggressively. Right, so I'm playing around with the retarder and the engine brake just to keep the thing moving, but not too quick. Okay, all said and done, this is doing a pretty decent effort of it. I'm bank hard on the power now to get it up this hill. And yeah, it's certainly working hard, but it's doing it. I'd also completely forgotten that the governor in this engine was about 2300 RPM as opposed to 2100 RPM. So that's on me. Okay. We are doing pretty good, all things considered. I am using a bit of the brakes. That's... okay, we weren't doing so good there for just a second, but we managed to recover. It's a little disconcerting when you're braking and steering and just ploughing straight on and not losing that much speed. So I guess the trick here is to use a bit of the trailer brake. Oh yeah, that seems to help a little. Of course, the trailer brake is a keyboard command, and it's basically an on or off. So we would be at the risk of locking the trailer brake or trailer tires or wheels up. But it might give me some steering input. You know, we'll still crash, but maybe we'll jackknife at the same time. Yeah, this doesn't sound the most encouraging, really, does it? Okay, well, I made it so far. 8th gear at 20. There, this is going to be a noisy trip. 344 miles to go. Oh, I need to get in some brakes here. Oh, yeah. Ah, okay. That probably hurt. But I think we're good. No, we're not. It won't go backwards. Okay. I think it's stuck on something. Let's just pop my ride height up again. Would I get out and look? I mean, yes, but no, because this is a video, but yeah, I think I damaged something. Let's see. 2%. Oh, okay. Well, everything still drives. It's all good. I planned it. Okay, let's go. Go. No. I shouldn't. No, I'm not going to do that. No. Come on, go backwards now, please. Sorry. He must have appeared from nowhere, because I didn't see him. Oh, maybe he's pavement grey, maybe, so... Okay, there's a police car. I think it's planned to move out. Police car's vanished on me. There he is. Okay, right. And we're off. Whew. Yeah, it's a little unsure of what to do with the gearbox because it's kind of heavy, really. I'm at full power, and it's accelerating, and I can't really imagine this trip in the Mac R with 237 horsepower, but I suspect it will pull it just a bit slower, or a lot slower. And we're only 444. We're not a massive amount of power here. Okay, I'm going to lift off and just try and save the fuel a little bit. Yeah, that kind of helped. A squeak. But I'm doing 25, so I didn't necessarily hope to be doing 55 the whole time, but right now let's try and get my speed up to 35. I think there's a stoplight just coming up. Yeah, there is. Let's lift off. Let's coast up to the light, I think. Yeah, it's red, so if it turns green, we'll mash the power in, because we've got a upgrade in coming up. See the blue Freightliner in the distance? We've got to turn to the right up there. Oh, there we go. Right, so that's nailed it. It dropped straight to the governor. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it dropped to 2100 revs, but not to the governor. And right, 1900 revs, 8th gear. We've got 2 gears up, and I'm going up a hill, so I think I'm going to be dropping a clutch of gears here. The idea behind using the big cam as opposed to the KT was it might save a little bit of fuel. It's a 14 litre as opposed to a 19 litre. It's not as powerful, but I figured with shorter gearing it may not need it. And in fact, look at us, we're now accelerating again. Well, what do you know? I mean, I'm going to hide the mileage number because that looks really scary. And I'm going to turn on cruise and see how it immediately shifts up. It's because you turn on cruise, all of the adaptive shifting technology just goes out the window. And it just uses the default, which was to be a gear higher at that speed. So we lost a bit of acceleration, but I mean, it might help keep things a little cooler. Okay, I see there's something coming up. Oh, I think he's fine. Right, we're now doing 35. And we're doing, well, 36 in top gear. Okay, so right about now, this is almost like an automatic. I'm going to take a swig of water and see if I can keep my voice under wraps and keep it under control. Okay, that's a little better. Not exactly accelerating hard, but I think I'm okay with how this is. Well, this hill's probably going to be a bit of a killer. Except actually it's not. Oh, my steering is everywhere, I suspect. I'm going to blame the fact that my steering is light for all that weight on the back. Except, yeah, we're going up this at 1600 revs, just over 40, and we're not slowing down, which I might have expected. Okay, we maybe are now, but I hope we get put into a way station. I mean, on the one hand I don't, because I need a calendar to see when I'm going to next get back up to 45 miles an hour. But I also want to see just exactly how much this thing weighs, what we're asking this engine to do. And this drivetrain, this gearbox, everything else. Because I think the drive-by view is just going to look kind of cool, but not really reflective of the mass of this cargo. Okay, not a good drive-by view. There we go. It's a bit better. Okay, I mean, we have a front aspect one thing. Oh, kind of, thank you. Okay. I kind of feel that this truck would really deserve double air filters and double exhaust, but it just, like I say, it wasn't available, and I don't exactly know what I was not doing correctly. Other than I didn't buy the truck as an 8x4, so maybe that's why. We fit under this bridge, thank goodness. So that's 45. Just a quick sneak preview of my mileage. My temps are getting a little warm, but we're working it flat out. 2.8. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I really want to get there today, and I do have six hours, I suppose, spare. What I mean there is, it reckons it's 5 hours to get to my destination, but I have 11 hours to do it in. Now, in fairness, I've got to finish my shift in 8 hours. So we're almost at 55, so I'm just going to let it cruise at 55. And now I know it's not quite at the governor. It's maybe 100 revs off. That's going to help. We're actually picking up speed, but we're clearly going down a hill. So it's not going to do this on the flat. Okay, well, the cabovers tend to bounce around anyway, but right now we're bouncing around a lot more than normal. This feels a bit like a 4x2. Okay, road splits, that's always a good sign. Nice flat piece of road coming up. That was sarcasm. But I mean, hey, if we can keep 55 up most of the trip, I think that's pretty dang impressive. You know, ideally I want to give this truck coming up my outside, I want to give him a little bit more space, so he can get round me at least. See if I get pulled into this way station. I'm in the wrong lane, so I guess I'll move across just in case. Why is this guy moving over to the right? Okay, maybe he's not going to get pulled in. Maybe I am. Okay, so good. I'm getting called in. That's what I want, really. I mean, want is a strong word, but I really want to see how much this combination weighs, and I also want to get on the brakes because there's a lot to stop here. Okay. You can just about hear the retarder working. Now that will put some heat into the cooling system, at least in real life. Let's see how much this weighs. Oh wow, that was a little untoward. I couldn't stop in time. Let's back up. Come on, Volvo. Oh, I guess you're not going to. £277,000. That's considerable. Right. Well, I now know how much we weigh, so go ahead and I'm going to swing by here. This is going to be a challenge because merging into the right hand lane, what did I get that for? Did I hit? Well, I hit something. What did I hit? Oh, well, that was on him. Okay, thankfully this traffic's giving me space, because they've probably just seen me wreck into that Volvo and they're like, nope. I'd love it if they would let me move into the right lane, but they're not going to, so we'll do it now. I'm keeping it punched all the way down, so we'll see if it can get up to cruise. I don't want to use the cruise control right now because it will probably immediately shift on. It won't at 30, but 35. It'll immediately shift up into top gear, which we don't really want to do right now. Yeah, now the engine's dying, so it's dropped below about 1500 revs. So everybody lean forward. Okay, thank goodness it's shifting down again. We want to see it at the 2000 RPM point. It's not doing it in this gear. May preempt it and downshift. I think I will at just above 1500 revs. Yep, there we go. Oh, wow. I put it into neutral somehow. That's awkward. Oh, okay. I don't know that I must have double tapped it by mistake. I set up my controller so I have the hint up and the shift up is opposite to the throttle, and the reason being is that more often than not, if I'm accelerating through the gears, I want to shift up, but I don't want to let go of the throttle to squeeze the shift up button. So I have the shift up, shift down a little bit opposite, or a lot opposite, and once I got used to it, that works out really, really good. But it does mean that if I need to shift down whilst under power, it's a little tougher. I gotta like let go of the power or use another finger. And yes, Zach, I'm sure that's what she said. There we go. That's better. So I'm now going down a hill. I think I'm gonna lift off and just let gravity do its thing because my mileage just dropped to 2.6 to the gallon. This big cam it's not being particularly frugal. When I was building out the truck, I was deliberating maybe using something like a Cummins X12. So deciding, you know what, we're going to use the same K100E, but we're going to modernize the powertrain. So like a modern 18-speed, or maybe a 13-speed, but an 18-speed and an X12. The idea there is to save a bit of weight. But I'd want to use a retarder because the X12, it's a mighty fine engine. It's the sole reason why I got into modding engines. But its engine brake it's a 12-litre engine, the long and short. So it's not as good as a 15-litre engine brake. Because there's less of the engine just to do its thing. And most of the time it doesn't really matter. The X12 will aggressively downshift, so that's a big help. I'm all over the road again. I'll lift off the power here, I think. That very noisy engine brake has to try and keep the speed at 50. That's better. There we go. But where you use an X12 as opposed to an X15, yeah, you might save a little bit of fuel. And in line haul, typically I find the smaller engines, you might get up to a mile per gallon more compared to the larger engines. So if you're driving it gently and you get maybe 6.5 from an ISX15, you might get 7.5 from an ISX12. It won't be as enjoyable experience if the ISX12 produces less output, but 450 horsepower, 1650 foot-pounds of torque, it doesn't matter whether it's a 12 litre or a 15 litre or a 13 litre or even a 19 litre. It's still the same power. It's still the same torque. Power is power and torque is torque. Okay, I'm going to keep it at 50. It seems to be happy at 50 as opposed to stretching up to 55. And I'm all about keeping this engine happy. It doesn't mind the revs. And my temperatures are reasonable. 202 and the oil is just increased from 201, but that's kind of normal. And the water of 194. So yeah, it is running maybe a little warmer than we might expect from a modern lead truck, and the heat is proportional to the power that you use and the engine speed, but it's not outrageous. It's actually getting warmer. I guess because we came down the hill and we were off the power completely. We weren't using the retarder to keep the coolant temperature up. But I don't believe the game models retarder coolant temperature changes. So I'm asking it to do 50. And we're lumping along at 45. I am struggling to... Oh my goodness me. I am struggling to keep this thing in its lane. I'm also not getting it back up. Did I tell it 45? No, still showing 50, okay. Alright, I've got a half a tank of fuel. Whoa, what? Okay, oh, that's fine. 155 miles and 105 gallons, so I'll do more than 1.5 to the gallon. I mean, I might do 3, but I've got enough to get to my destination. That's all I really care about right now. This particular machine, the tanks aren't as big as you might hope. I mean, that's not a small tank, but it's not the biggest, and that's a little smaller. Okay, we're back up to 50 now, which is nice. Looking at how close the tire is to the wheel arch. It doesn't seem lower than normal. Oh, I got away again. Yay. Okay, so I manually put the retarder on. I'm actually gonna get the speed really low before we go over this again, because it was embarrassing last time. I overshot by only a few feet. But a few feet is a few feet. That Volvo behind me, what was he doing? Okay. I should be able to just roll across and away. Let's find out. Yeah, I can. Okay, so this yellow Volvo is, I guess, going to keep going. got the pedal mashed to the floor, and the adaptive shifting is holding onto each gear, and I'm now going to hit resume. There you go, it immediately shifts up, and now it's going to be like try and use the economy bias to get myself back up to 50 or 50, I think it's 50 still. Yeah, 50. So it's going to take longer, and that might end up just using more fuel because we'll be keeping it at full power for longer, but the revs will be a little lower. Either way, I get cramp keeping my finger down on the trigger the whole way, the whole time. So we're going to let cruise control get me back up to cruise and just enjoy the scenery and the fading light, although it's only 3:30. Wow, 10 to 35, and it's still pulling. So, I mean, all credit to that. Right, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead, because I think you're going to be watching this for a long time, so I'll be right back after I've skipped ahead. And we're back. And we're now approaching another way station. So it's about 2 hours of gain time since I said I'd be back. We've made reasonable progress. We're about 35 miles out from our destination now. Let's see if we have to pull in. Yeah, great. That's a shame because we were making good progress. But okay. The service brakes. Let's get hard on the retarder instead. Maybe that'll help. So it's quite an effort to bring this thing's speed down under control. But I'm able to hold 55. It will actually stretch up to nearly 60 before it reaches the governor in top gear. And all things considered, it's actually able to cruise at 55 on the flat, on slight hills. Not so bad. It just takes an hour to get to the speed, is how it feels. But, you know, what do we expect? Economy, well, as you've seen, or as you can see, it's now showing 3. So it really is cruising. It's still accelerating when it reaches 55. And that's helped economy, because it did drop to 2.6 at one point, which is, well, that's Cummins KT level. Now, I imagine with this amount of weight chucked on the back, your economy is just going to be dismal anyway. And there's not much you can do to fix that. Let's see. 23 minutes left, it reckons, and an hour 45 till I take my break. Oh, until I'm supposed to take my break. So, okay, I really got to get my ducks in a row here and just keep at it. I'm at full power right now, I can't go any quicker. If I were to hit resume, it would shift up to top, and then likely shift down because we're going up a hill. But yeah, I've made as best progress as I can. But it's a challenge. It's done alright now. I wanted to watch that. Okay, I wanted to watch that. Thanks. And my speed is bleeding off. Down to 30. Yeah, I'm all over the road as well. Okay, well, I can see my destination on the map. Oh, I'm gonna turn left off this road. That'll be fun. Let's at least get into the left-hand lane so I don't interfere with this Cascadia coming up behind me. Well, I will, but not too much. Right, I'm going to get off the power. I'm going to let gravity do its thing, and I'm going to end up using the engine brake, I think, and the retarder. Yeah, so it's picking up speed. I don't need it to be picking up that much speed just yet. Alright, I've got my retarder on full as well. needed right now is a train to come. That will ruin this trip because I'm probably going to hit the barrier. Okay. So I might do okay here if there's no traffic coming, but if I've got to stop, it's going to be a challenge to get the thing rolling and out the way.
Turn left.
Okay, bit of service brake here, bit of engine brake. Yeah, that should be good. There is traffic down the bridge, but some distance away. This dump truck may have to give me a little bit of grace. That'll do. Okay, I think we've negotiated the trickiest part, because I don't think unloading is going to be difficult.
Turn left.
So, thoughts on the drive so far? It wasn't as terrible as I thought it would be, because we did this with a fairly low-powered engine, given the weight that we were tackling. I mean, you really wanted the King of the Hill spec for this. You want that 625 horsepower, that 20-50 foot-pounds of torque. We did it with a lot less. The hardest challenge was actually stopping, I think. Let's go ahead and check in. Where do you want it? I don't really feel like doing that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's play it safe, because I don't want this to be too much longer of a trip. Yeah, so moving off, it's putting me in first. But yeah, I mean, it's moving just fine. It's the stopping that's been the challenge. Wow. Actually, that's a challenge too. That speed bump. Okay, swing it wide to the left. Guess I'll get my four ways on. Whoa. A little close to the train now, but we missed. So I think overall, it's been an enjoyable trip. I did have to wait quite a bit of time. I don't think it would have been much better with a KT. I think the KT would have probably used a bit more fuel and maybe made a bit more progress. Whoa. Yeah, I ended up overshooting it again and backing it up's a pain, but there we go. Right. I'll go ahead and turn the lights off, turn my four-way flashes off, turn the engine off, and let's unload and let's see how well we did. Now, I think we're going to have done maybe 2.8, 2.9 to the gallon, just going on what the trip computer was telling me. So, 351 miles. And 121.7 gallons. So that is 2.9 to the gallon indicated. That's the 1 decimal place. It took us 11.5 hours to do 351 miles. That's still quicker than some of the long trips I've done in the UK. Well, I'm happy enough with that. That was an enjoyable trip. Hope that you enjoyed it too. And if you have, you know exactly what to do. If you thought it sucked, go ahead and let me know. I'll be sure to abuse you in the comments as well. But don't forget to click dislike it. That actually helps YouTube popularize the video. So every little helps, right? You can subscribe for more crazy adventures. Typically, I'm playing right now American Truck Simulator and Cold Waters, a Cold War submarine. I like boats. A Cold War submarine simulator. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Goodbye.